Hello and welcome to The Open Ike Show, the show where we open up about open mics. I'm your host, Isaac Heiner. This week's guest, Manny Rosen, is a screenwriter, a blogger, and an all-around funny guy. Welcome to the show, Manny.
Hey, thank you for having me, Isaac.
Yeah, of course. So we start every show with the same question.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is, what do LA open mics mean to you?
It's a good question. Not a ton. I moved here a year ago, and I had kind of stopped doing stand-up at the time I moved here. The writing is my main focus.
Yeah.
Creatively and artistically and time-wise. I had stopped doing stand-up for a few years. And then when I first got here, I was like, well, I need to meet people. And so I thought I'd get back in stand-up because back in Arizona where I'm from, I had made a lot of friends doing stand-up. And I tried it for like a few months when I first got here, and I didn't have great results at the mics that I'd been going to. But more recently, it's a little better. I tried getting back into it, and I'm enjoying it a little more.
That's interesting. You touched on a lot of different things that I'm curious about. So you were doing open mics in Arizona, and you said, so the 3 months that you started, you weren't finding success. What did you mean by success? Like laughs or connections?
Yeah, I mean connections.
Okay.
Like it was just, there was a lot of well, I don't want to talk. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, you can curse. It's just keep it down from and fucking.
Okay.
You can say but.
I can say but not fucking.
Well, let's just keep it down.
I'll keep it down. I don't want to talk shit about nothing.
And
but,
I don't want you to.
But you know, it was just the mics that I've been going to. It was like there was just not a lot of people there, and it was some slotted thing where you give them money and then leave, or it was there was just so many people, which is a hard environment.
Right.
But then I've been trying to have a more discerning eye recently.
In terms of finding the mics that you go to, or the kind of people you reach out to?
The mics, just been trying to because I was like, there's no way that this is one of the biggest stand-up scenes in the world, and there isn't like a normal mic where people hang out and it's chill.
Right. So you were doing mics in Arizona.
Yeah.
And were there kind of discernible differences between
Arizona
scenes?
mics?
Yeah.
I mean, so I wasn't just doing mics in Arizona. I was getting some book things. I was getting like drink tickets, and I was getting book sets at clubs, not even featured, but like guest sets and stuff.
Check drops.
Yeah, but it's 5 minutes and stuff on a late show. But I mean, I'm from Tucson, and one of the big things is that there's one club in Tucson, Laughs, shout out to Laughs, and when I was at Laughs, there was an open mic once a week on Thursday, a single open mic, and they put in a 2-drink minimum, but you went in and there was like a list, their list had like 40 slots on it, and you get 3 minutes on the list. But people would, sometimes the audience was full of people who were not comedians.
Interesting, yeah.
Like there was lots of just random alcoholics, and it's because there's not, I don't know if you know this about Tucson, Arizona, but there's very little to do.
I've heard that.
And it's hot during the day, and so then at night people want to go to a free show sometimes. Here there's lots of things to do, and so it seems as though people don't go to the mic so much if they aren't comical ready.
Yeah. The mic where we met, right, was at the Elysian in their back room, right? Shout out to Funny Games. And that type of mic isn't really going to have any audience other than comics, right?
Yeah.
And I think most of the open mics that are comedy specific are that same way, but like the mixed mics at the coffee shop, you might see something like that.
Yeah.
But in a place in Arizona where you don't have 1.5 million coffee shops with...
There isn't like John Mulaney performing down the street.
Right. So what I'm curious about is, when you were in Arizona, did you ever want to start your own mic?
I did start my own.
You started your own mic. What was that like?
It was cool. It caused drama because we were trying, like, everyone was like talking about how, because there was like one mic a night, and then there wasn't one on Sundays or on Saturdays or on Fridays.
Yeah.
So Monday through Thursday there was a single mic every week.
At Laughs.
No,
Okay, all over,
anywhere
all over.
anywhere in the
Gotcha.
city. And so we started one on Monday, and we could only start it like. So first of all, we started it at a restaurant called The Garage,
Yeah.
which no longer exists.
Sure.
It was at the corner of University and Fourth. It's like this old, it's like this very retro 60s shopping center. I don't know, it has a very like Highland Park sort of vibe.
Gotcha.
And then University is frats and stuff.
Yeah.
But then at the very corner of it, there's nothing. But there was at one point like a mechanic shop, and then someone was like, "Whoa, wouldn't it be so cool if we make a restaurant, turn a mechanic shop into a restaurant?" And they opened that up as a restaurant. Nice. And the problem with that is that no one goes to that. It's not a good location for food. But it was there for like 2 months, and we had a mic there, and it started like an hour before the mic before it, which was down the street, ended, so everyone would leave from that mic and come to ours, and it made the people who were hosting the other one upset. But that's the problem when you have like such a small scene, is that like you like having another mic in the same city on the same night, you're sapping away 80% of the scene.
Right.
From it.
Here that's unheard of because there's literally 20 mics happening at any given moment.
Yeah, it's the traffic.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so when you approached the venue, was it you or a buddy?
It was me. I think my buddy would take credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was me.
What was that conversation like? Like, and do you see the same thing being possible here?
I don't probably see this. Well, I don't know. It depends. Like I think it was like the third place we went to.
Yeah.
The first place was a big popular coffee shop in Tucson. They said no because they previously had a music mic, and it got so big in like the Tucson area that like the companies that own the royalties started contacting them and asking for royalties because of how large it was in the market.
For covers and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And then, so they didn't want to do another mic, like they had been doing any mics.
I feel like there's a way to work around that, but
yeah, but, and then we approached a Jamaican restaurant, the Jamaican restaurant. Now there's two Jamaican restaurants in Tucson, but we approached them about it because they had a big stage, and I don't remember how that went. I think they said maybe, and then we contacted them again. They didn't reply.
Right.
And then we talked to this place, and they asked what they needed to do, and we said nothing. And they said, cool. And then we did it. And then, they said, let's try it one time.
Right.
And we brought in a bunch of comics, and all of them ordered food and drinks. And they're like, this is the best night we've had. So they're like, please keep coming. And the thing is that the first week of a mic, the comics will order food and drinks. The second one, half of them will, and then none of them will ever again. So they kept doing that, but they liked us enough under that owner, and then they got bought out, and the new owners
Ended the show.
Ended the show, yeah.
And so were you doing anything to like draw in an audience to that show, to try and keep good favor with the venue? To get a real audience.
We were drawing in an audience because it's a heavily trafficked corner of foot traffic, and we were on the patio with a microphone.
Gotcha, yeah.
And so people would just wander in off the streets, which sometimes was fun and sometimes was homeless.
Sure.
But
we have them here.
Yeah, I've heard.
Were you hosting?
I was hosting. I was hosting with one of my friends.
Okay, co-hosting. So that's cool. I've like hosted a show, but not like a recurring show or anything like that.
Yeah.
What are like the challenges of hosting a show, and I guess in Tucson specific?
The challenges of hosting are, a part of it is just people run the light.
Right.
And in Arizona, people run it very often.
What would you do?
What would you do the light again?
Just do it again.
And then you stand awkward and close to them.
Yeah.
And usually they'll see it.
Right.
Other challenges when people drink too much.
Yeah.
I think that's more of an Arizona challenge.
So I perform sober.
Yeah.
I am not sober, but I perform
Yeah.
sober. Do you drink?
I've never drinking and gone up. No.
Yeah.
I've
That's the funny thing is you get drink tickets,
yeah.
you know, and it's like, well, I'm kind of trying to do the best I can right now, you know.
Yeah.
What other profession can you?
Well, I was also doing it mostly I started when I was 18,
Cool.
and I finished like right after I turned 21.
Gotcha.
So, I also just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't do. It wasn't an option. They'd get in trouble.
Gotcha.
No, we had to like at the comedy club. We were only allowed to sit either in the sound booth, or in the green room if you were under 21.
Oh yeah.
And I remember because there was like 10 dudes, it was like 6 guys who would sit in the sound booth, and we would like sit on each other's laps because there was 3 seats in the sound booth.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Nice.
But yeah.
So you started young, 18. That's. I mean.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed in the building otherwise, you know. So.
Yeah, I was 18. I mean, first of all, I was obsessed with comedy and stand-up and comedy films and comedy TV shows when I was a kid. But then I was in a gen ed acting class in college, and my scene partner told me that he had just started doing stand-up. And I was like, oh, that's great. Maybe I'll come and check you out. In my head, I was like, I'm so much funnier than you.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not good at, I mean, you might be, but I can't live in a world where you are
Right.
better than me. So then I decided to try it out. And then he stopped the first time he bombed. So I proved him wrong.
Yeah.
I was correct.
And you've bombed before?
Yes.
Yeah.
My first big bomb was it was a book set, it was a guest set. I don't know. I had gotten to a point where like I had like 3 minutes I kept running, and I had gotten like cocky about it. I wasn't really practicing it anymore.
Yeah.
And I went up, I'm running my material, it's going well, I'm getting laughs. But I immediately know it's like the drunkest crowd I've ever been in front of. It's Tucson, which I keep saying Tucson's alcohol. It's a very drunk city.
Okay.
Especially the white people.
Yeah.
And this guy starts heckling in the crowd. He starts, like, I make some joke about blowjobs, and he's like, I like blowjobs. And I go, hey man, shut the fuck up. And there's a big laugh. And so I lean into it, and I just start like making fun, and then suddenly I become like a villain.
Yeah.
Like suddenly.
You live long enough.
Like I just keep attacking him and laying into him, and suddenly I become like, they see me as like this egotistical little shit. And so they just all start heckling me at the same time. They all start yelling, I like blowjobs. All of them, a sea of alcoholic, sunburnt white people.
Yeah.
And then I just started stammering. I forgot the rest of my set. I said bye, and I put the mic in. And the next guy was like, I don't know what the fuck Rain Man was that, but this isn't for everybody. And the only thing in me that wants to like make it really big as a stand-up wants me to be able to because I knew it was some hacky road comic.
Right.
And I really wanted to have the option to be big enough to book him as like an opener. It would be like a big deal for him.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute, it was all a and he had, but like enough to where he has to like shake my hand and be like, sir, thank you so much for this opportunity.
So you're very revenge driven?
No, I just like have fantasies. I imagine, I write.
Right.
I like to run through fantasies in my head.
I gotcha.
I'm a good little Jew. I like to, all of my aggression I go through in my head, and and then eventually I let it go.
Right.
So, not in general revenge driven, but against that man a little bit.
And I mean, is that still, that's not what drives you anymore? No, you've moved on.
I moved on probably a week after it happened.
Yeah. So after your bomb, how did you get back on stage?
How did I get back on stage? I started, it was at Laugh, so at the club, I would still go on at the open mic, and they started putting me like at the end of the mic. They wanted me to not go anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
But I would study like my material, for 10, 20 minutes right before I go on.
Right.
be practicing it, for days before that, and then I'd be running it in my head, and I'd be pacing back and forth and doing it, and I was writing new material, and so I do that for like another month,
Yeah.
and then I ask to audition for another mic or for another guest set, and then I ask for. I do the audition. The guy was like, "Well, man, if we're not gonna be able to put you on anymore. We'll let you do one more guest set, but if you don't get this one, if you bomb this one again, then you're not allowed anymore."
So they were mad about the bomb, not the time, not berating the audience. It's just like you weren't funny, so you got to be funny.
He was so mean. Like the guy, like it was the owner's kid. It wasn't like a guy who knows about comedy, who was seeing the audition.
Yeah.
And he was like, because right when I first started, I would go up with a guitar.
Okay.
And I would play guitar. I'd do the Dimitri Martin thing where you tell like one-liners and play guitar. Yeah. And he was like, "Whatever happened to the guitar, man?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'd like to tell longer jokes. It's hard with the guitar." And he was like, "I don't know, man. You're pretty fucking awkward without it. Like, it looks so weird when you stand."
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense."
And then he said yes, right?
No, so I went up again, and it went really well the next time, like the next books that I did, and then he said I could keep going.
So funny because like I'm scared of rejection,
Yeah.
right? But like some acceptances are, just painful, right? He's just digging into you. But we'll have you on.
Yeah, but we'll let you do one more time,
Right.
And then that time I did very well.
Yeah.
And I was it felt full circle.
Nice. And now, were you screenwriting then as well, or were you really doing stand-up?
I started doing stand-up because I wanted to. I was like, I knew so many of my like TV writing heroes who had started in stand-up, and then I was not writing at all. But I was like, this could lead into writing down the line.
Yeah.
Like this could dovetail into it once you get a name and stuff.
What, half of stand-up, maybe more than half, is writing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great writers out there who can't, necessarily do the performance half of things. Do you, how do you balance kind of in the mics you're doing here now, how are you balancing kind of performance? You're doing acting classes or anything like that? No.
I have so little money.
Yeah.
I have so little. People like keep making jokes at mics. Are like, "Oh, I'm about to do Groundlings." How?
Yeah.
With what? Parents are paying for $600. If I called my mom up right now, I was like, "I need $600 so that some people who were rejected from SNL can tell me how to make jokes quicker."
Yeah.
That would be crazy. No, I don't. I mean, I've always been performing. Like, I was doing music for way longer than I was doing comedy for. Like, I started when I was like 8, and so.
And so you do have your banjo
I have a
there. You
banjo.
mentioned your guitar. Those are 2-stringed. Is that kind of your two mains?
I started in trumpet.
Okay.
When I was 8, and I played jazz trumpet, and I started making money. Like, I was booking some semi-professional gigs when I was like 12 and 13.
Yeah.
And I was there was like it's called like the Tucson Jazz Institute. It's like this academy separate from school, and they put on performances. And I was not in like the top high school band, but I was in middle school, and I was soloing in the high school band, one of the high school bands, like I think the intermediate one. And I don't know, my dad cared so, like my dad's from New York and he loved jazz. It was like a lot of pressure, so I stopped playing trumpet and I started playing guitar because no one would give a shit what I do with guitar.
Right.
But yeah, so I've been playing music since I was 8, and then I started guitar when I was 15. Banjo's, like my guitar style is similar to banjo picking, so I kind of just figured out how to do it, and then my friend gave me that banjo.
Very nice. What do I need to know about shag carpeting?
I don't know shit about shag carpet.
Okay.
I know about like a little bit about Persian. I worked at a Persian rug store in Arizona for a month. It sucked, but I really learned to like rugs from it.
Nice.
I know a tiny bit about rugs now.
What are you doing now to support your comedy?
Yeah.
And
like,
what's funny about it? What's funny about your work?
I have 3 jobs.
Yeah.
I was just at one of them.
Okay.
Here are my jobs. Job number 1, this is 30 hours a week. is I'm a one-on-one aide to an autistic kindergartner he don't tuck.
Yeah.
What's funny about that one is I have to take him to the bathroom, and he thinks it's started this week. After he pees in the toilet, he can't stand and pee because they're very uncoordinated. The autistic kindergartners who don't tuck.
Yeah.
So he'll pee in the toilet, then it'll flush, and then he just sticks his hand in the toilet and looks up at me, and he thinks that's very funny. And I've yelled at him to stop, and he thinks that's very funny.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't even do that anymore because he doesn't want to be yelled at, but it's so funny to him, the idea of doing it, that the moment we enter the bathroom, he just starts like cracking. He doesn't say words, but he's just like cracking up, like to a point where he's not even going to the bathroom. He's just like almost on the floor. Like it's like an audience shot in like an old Night at the Improv special.
Yeah.
He's like bowling over because of the idea of him sticking his hand in the toilet water.
It's just the proximity of the bathroom or the toilet.
Yeah, just the idea, because it brings up memories.
So 30 hours, is that good for health insurance?
It is, but not yet. I haven't been there
Okay,
long enough.
probationary or whatever.
Second job, which is when I was just at, when was late coming here, was I do after school science and engineering classes for a company, but I do it at various private schools.
Gotcha.
What's funny about that one? That feels less funny. What's funny? Okay, here's something that's funny, is they're all like private school kids who go, and they've all got like they're all doing this because their parents think it'll help for college, and they are all 5. I think that's already funny enough that they're like, some of them are 4. I have one who's 3. And his parents are like, this will be so good on a resume in 15 years. What's more funny about it, though, is that they're doing it like it's a Lego engineering class. They're building with Legos.
Yeah.
It's to learn engineering skills with the Legos. They can do it competitively. There's giant competitions around the world, mostly in Europe, obviously. Mostly it's a German thing. This is what Nazis do now instead of fascism.
We don't do science here in America.
Yeah, and so all of them are in it because they think that their kid might be like a Lego master.
Yeah.
Like they might be like a secret little Lego wizard.
Which is a real thing. Lego Master is a real thing.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm aware. The kids tell me about it. Like, I'm going to be a Lego master. And I'm like, you sound like Ash Ketchum. You sound like this is an anime. And so he says they're all thinking to be Lego masters. And 9.5 out of 10 of them are so bad.
Yeah.
They have no skill in this thing that their parents are pouring money into.
Yeah.
They enjoy it enough, so I think maybe the parents is doing it for fun, but you could also just buy them Legos, and they're going to get as much out of it as me teaching them what a lintel and a post is.
Right.
Do you know what a lintel is?
Is woodworking? I think
It's kind of.
it's not the slot in the.
It might be for woodworking. All I know is that a bridge,
Yeah.
the post is the part that connects to the ground,
Okay.
and the lintel is what you drive across.
Oh. Okay.
And then my third job is I'm a dungeon master for more autistic kids, but they're older this time and they can talk.
Yeah.
And it's to like teach them social skills.
Through.
Dungeons and Dragons.
So are you self-employed in that?
No, I work it's a very small company.
Cool.
But I do that. What's funny about that one? There's a lot of funny interactions.
Yeah.
What was one that I had? Here's one. The world that I have, we just started a new campaign a couple weeks ago.
Cool.
And the world that it's set in is based on the challenges faced by the early Byzantine Empire soon after the fall of the Western Empire, based off of this, it was like I'm a history nerd.
Yeah.
Based off of, there was a 6th century, century of wars between the Persians and the Byzantines going on and on and on. And so it's based off of that time period. And I'm telling them how they're going to a city based off of Constantinople, which I call megalopolis, which is a concept in Greek culture of this.
Was it
sprawling-
Byzantium at the time?
It was Constantinople at the time.
Okay.
Byzantion
Yeah.
Byzantium is like a lofty concept of the Byzantine Empire, of this city that encapsulates both modern Istanbul and Constantinople, and the earlier city of Byzantion. Byzantion was the original Greek settlement, but Constantinople is what the Romans renamed it
By
under
600, it was
Constantine.
always, yeah.
And by the 500s, it was Constantinople.
Gotcha.
So it's called, I call it megalopolis because it's this concept of this city that this sprawls on forever, of this city of a city of cities. It's, you know, the city made up of larger cities.
Right.
It's not like a poetic name, it's a political name. I'm doing it to draw attention to a concept. And this one kid was like, that name sucks. It's a horrible name. I hate that name. It's really stupid. And then another kid goes, look, you know, it's okay if the name sucks.
Yeah.
We should just play it anyways. We should give them the benefit of the doubt. So there's a lot of interactions like that because the whole thing is to teach them social skills, and so there's implication in that they don't have any.
So he was ready to stop the whole campaign
No,
over this name.
he was didn't want to end the campaign. He just wanted to voice his opinion.
Gotcha.
He was feeling it in the moment. He wanted it to be known that he didn't like the name.
That's fair.
Which fair to him, and also a little bit fuck him. I'm writing. You write it. You write a D&D campaign. Not you.
Right, him. I couldn't. I haven't. Maybe I could. I haven't.
Do you play D&D?
I could. I haven't.
Most people could.
Yeah, I've
It's not very
I
impressive.
did like Magic the Gathering a little bit,
Yeah.
and I've done some like world building kind of what's like, is it tabletop or not?
It is tabletop.
It is.
Okay.
So I've done adjacent Dungeons and Dragons things, and I've tried to start campaigns that in lockdown. Basically, we're doing some Zoom things that didn't go anywhere, but
A lot of campaigns don't go anywhere.
yeah.
It's hard to organize 6 adults.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, sports, kind of same thing, a little bit.
What?
Well, it's like a basketball team. You need like.
Oh, but they're being paid to, or unless you're talking about like
No,
a
just
club
pay,
team.
like just as a hobby.
Oh, I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah.
I hate sports.
You hate sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there's people who like want to tell jokes on a stage who also would like sports. I can imagine ones who like watching it
Yeah.
and like projecting themselves onto much more athletic men. But it's hard for me to imagine someone who could otherwise be out there like using their body for meaningful labor
Right.
than like going on a stage and like going like, well, frickin' Star Wars sucks now. That's what my impression of Star Wars is.
My point guard never passes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know some pickup. I mean, a lot of pros are good at golf. Like Shane Gillis, I think.
That's not. We're counting that as a sport now?
I mean, it's on ESPN.
No sport can be played from a cart. No sport can be. Can you imagine if fucking I'm trying to think of a football player. Give me a football player.
Christian Fuabatu Ma'afala.
No.
Aaron
Marshawn
Rodgers.
Lynch. There you go. That's one.
There you go,
I
Marshawn.
know because he's
Beast
funny.
mode.
Yeah, I know him because he's funny.
Well, that's right. I was trying to
But-
think. There's funny.
Yeah, but he's not going to
athletes.
go on a stage and tell jokes. But
Bet he would.
But you can't. If he went out with a golf cart and
Yeah.
started going up, no one would let him do that. That would ruin the game.
I mean, they have the ambulance cart.
That's different. That's to leave the game. They're like, the game is over for this fellow.
There's
He's
NASCAR.
gone.
NASCAR's. You're
That's
going to say it's
the-
not a sport.
Well, even more than that, if the golf cart racing would be a game,
Yeah.
you could do golf cart racing.
I bet it is. If you can think of it, it exists. You know?
I bet it mostly just sounds like something that would be in like a college movie from the 80s.
yeah.
But
yeah. With David Spade in it.
David Spade and Pauly Shore.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Chris Farley if they had the budget.
Speaking of Pauly Shore,
Yeah. I like where this is going.
what's your favorite club? Not open mic, but like if you're gonna go see, if someone gifts you tickets to go see a comedy
So you go
show
see a comedy
at a
show.
real club, what's your favorite local club to get to?
Oh, I haven't been to a ton of shows locally. I've kind of, it was such a thing because I'm coming from somewhere there was only one club.
Yeah.
it's like it was like so embarrassing if you ever bought tickets to go there, because
Right.
you got into all the shows for free if you were an open mic. If they knew
Right.
you at the door, they would just let you in for free.
Yeah.
So I still have like a weird stigma around it, but I have gone to some. But there's a lot of, I mean, it's like being a comedy nerd growing up. I have so many, like Largo is so legendary in my head. Like it holds like, there's like a myth, it has like a mythological, it's like Olympus.
Largo's definitely one. You know, I mean, I think there's others that kind of get a little bit more attention in like Middle America, like the Store or something like that. But
Yeah.
coming from the scene and like having seen some shows, everything I see at the Largo, and like I'm looking up at the posters, it's like I'd see that, I'd see that, I'd see that, I'd see that.
No, it's so like, I mean, alt comedy was always my, and it was so funny. Like when I was um, like when I was doing stand up for the first, I was 18, so I was from, a generation that hadn't done stand up before, but I'd grown up with a very specific type of stand up and access to the internet. I remember like when club comics would come into town and I would talk with them, I would be like, this giant nerd, and I'd be like, oh, have you ever met Wyatt Cenac? And like they're like in their head, I'm gonna ask about like Louis C.K. or about, Eddie Murphy, and I'm asking about dudes that they would like get coffee with.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. There's like such a weird honor.
Did you ever meet anyone in Arizona that kind of took your breath away a little bit, or?
Funny story was that Kyle Kinane was
Sure.
coming to town. This doesn't end well for me. It's not end horribly. There's worse endings than this, but he was coming to town to do a show that I wasn't allowed into. I was 19 or 20, and so I couldn't get tickets. But I had a friend from the comedy scene who their friends were opening for him.
Gotcha.
When he was there, and so he said, if you just wait outside the venue the whole time, you just stand outside of it, then afterwards I'm gonna see if possibly we can like get dinner with him. So I'm like, that sounds so awesome. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And so then the day comes and I'm about to get in my car and go, and then my mom says, hey, we have a family dinner tonight. What are you doing? I said, well, okay, so Kyle Kinane is gonna play, and my friend says that maybe there's like a 20% chance that we can hang out with him if I wait outside a club that I'm not allowed into and I don't have tickets to for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And she said, no. And so it didn't happen. But then he fucking went. He went and got dinner.
And you guys got in. She's like, we're going to Olive Garden.
Worse.
Worse, all right. Yeah, Kyle's a good one. That'd be fun. So you've been doing shows in LA for a bit.
Yeah.
Do you have like a home room, or is there a couple kind of mics you really like?
I wouldn't say I'm like knowledgeable enough that I can really hone in on something, but I do like the Elysian.
Yeah.
Like of the ones I've been to, I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, their format is 3 minutes, free 3 minutes, and bucket pulls, right? So the last time I went, I did not get my name pulled,
Yeah.
and so I gotta go back. But actually, I saw you went up last
I
night.
did go up last night.
How was that?
I mean, like I got laughs and stuff. I just have such a thing now about having to prepare. And like I need to know what spot I'm gonna be at. And so they had run through everybody and got to the very end. They're like, oh, well, I mean, we only have 2 names left. We have like 5 minutes until 9:30. And they're like, is Manny here? And I was like freaking out the whole time. So I did okay, but I was like freaked out. I was barely paying attention because
How do you combat that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like you breathe through it. You focus. I like run, and it looks like it's like a script in my head.
Yeah.
The actual lines. I mean, that's how I have to write it. Is like I have to actually write out even if I'm not using the asides that I'm writing out because they're not going to be very good. I still like I need to see it. Like I need to like it has to feel like it's alive and breathing. I can't just like jot down a bit about X, Y. Like it has to be like explicit, and so I like run through it and I just focus on saying the thing. I might even go to a flatter affect because it's easier to get through it. It can be funny if you're just have no emotion whatsoever in it.
Right.
But no, I mean, the way that I usually combat stage fright is through preparation. And so if the stage fright is coming from a lack of preparation, it's harder to combat.
Yeah.
But you lean into the preparation that you have. Like I had been practicing before. I like to know what my spot is, so that like in 5 to 10 minutes before it, I could just be running
Right.
lines over and over again.
Right. Not that you asked, but so one thing, I the same way, so I write my sets out, they look like poems.
Yeah.
Right? It's like stanzas with line breaks and like underlined punchlines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's semi-photographic going on, so like when I'm up there, I do kind of see it as a script in my head. And then before the show, before I go on, I just need to run that first line, right?
Yeah.
And that gets me through my stage fright.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's run like the basic premise,
Right.
like over and over again, it's like dog, horse. I'm only doing animal. I'm not that animal based, but if I'm just running through the names of premises over and
Yeah.
over again, that'll still usually get me there. It's just like if I'm pulled up randomly is when it's harder to.
So are you, at these mics, you doing mostly new material, or are you editing or refining old material? A little bit of both.
Yeah.
And so what excites you more? Doing a bit that you know is going to crush, or trying something new for the first time?
The thing that excites me most is it's like a hybrid where it's adding like a tag into something you know already works. It's
Yeah.
playing around with something that already works.
And have you improvised any tags that kind of became one of your favorites? Have you ever done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that, or like even just, like I don't know, I had my favorite joke I probably did, which I mean, you know, when I first started, I was like 19, and it was, I mean, every 18-year-old comic's the same. They have nothing to say but lots of gross stuff.
Right.
They just like say lots of like gross one-liners until they eventually build enough life experience to actually say something. If hopefully that'll happen. Sometimes it doesn't. I know people who started when I did and they still don't got nothing. But but I would what's it called? There was like one joke I had where I was like, because then I was in college and I was like, you know, I'm a Jew and a missionary came up to me, like a Christian missionary, which I always used to like argue with them when they would come up to me.
Yeah.
Like Protestant missionaries, and they wouldn't be into that at all. They're not an argumentative bunch. But he came up to me and he was like, he was talking to me, and I was like, well, I'm a Jew, I don't believe in Jesus. And he was like, you know, that's crazy. I don't get how Jews don't worship Jesus when Jesus was a Jew, which is a crazy premise on its own. And so I just said, like, my first joke about that was like, and it's crazy because, like, I'm not going to worship a guy just for being a Jew. I know so many. Why would I pick one? But then, you know, from there I expand. I think eventually it was, if I had to pick one, it would be Gilbert Gottfried. If I have to pick one Jew, it would be Gilbert Gottfried. Because at least then we have an explanation for the voice.
That's a good bit for a 19-year-old. I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. But yeah, so yeah, improving can work.
Yeah.
I'm always especially now because I'm such a contrarian. Like with improving or doing crowd work, it's always something that I'm want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Just with like the trends nowadays with the TikToks and whatnot.
Yeah, there's some jealousy about folks who do it well, right? Like I'd love to be able to kind of go on a stage with nothing, right? But it's not the goal of, a writer, you know?
I think this is, maybe cut this because it's like, it's not because I'm afraid anyone will be offended, but because it's such a lame thing to say. But like for me, like a really good stand-up being jealous of one of the crowd work guys, it's like a wizard Gandalf being jealous of like a stage magician,
right.
Of like a guy who pulls rabbits out of hats, because Gandalf can't pull a rabbit out. It's like there is a way to do it well and it's meaningful and it's like a real show and a real experience. But if you just say, "What's that, your wife? Nice tits," like that's such a.
Of course.
They're there like. Give them something to remember. Like they've all paid. That's one of my favorite, like a piece of advice that John Mulaney I've heard give on podcasts is like, everybody there has hired a sitter. Like everyone at a show has put in time. It's more money than most of them could afford, and they want to be entertained. They want to have, especially if like a big city where they're tourists. Like they're coming in from around the world to look at you, and you're just gonna like make fun of their wife and say that their shirt's tight on him. Like, give them something to remember. Give them something to walk away with. Like, an experience, like art, something meaningful,
Right.
something like transformative.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm jealous of it when it's like, I don't, Todd Barry, like,
The
yeah,
tour. Yeah.
like that I'm jealous of.
Yeah.
That's real showmanship. That's real ability to connect with an audience.
And it's amazing content. I mean,
Exactly.
The crowd work tour is on YouTube. I don't know exactly about the production, but I mean, I still think of those bits sometimes.
Yeah, they're great. It's incredible that because he's actually connecting with them, and he's not just there to like throw lights in their face and like
Right.
it's like Coco Melon. Like it's like you're just like ba-cha, ba-cha, and then they all clap and they're gonna, but they're not gonna remember it, and they're not gonna be, and it's, you're cheating them out of a show because they're not gonna go home and think about it. They're just gonna laugh for the second, but it's like laughing at a dude in your office.
Right.
There's no reason to pay you for that.
Yeah.
There's no reason to pay you for that.
Now you do know that a lot of these comics have, their set, have their material, but what they're putting out online is the crowd work stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
why
it's
is it online? Because it's gonna go viral?
something that's going to sell more tickets so they can do their set? And it's a counterpoint or something.
No,
but-
it's a real counterpoint that they have their thing. First of all, the first argument, if I'm okay with talking shit about one comedian, it's Matt Rife, and you can cut that. But like,
I think we're all okay talking.
what
shit
the
about
fuck is
Rife.
he writing? Like, have you heard the shit he's written? It's like, it's fucking like a rotten banana being eaten by a chihuahua. Like, it's fucking nothing. And so that's my first point. My second point is that, like, I don't know. I think every intellectual field and every artistic field in America is being destroyed by careerism and by credentialism. And just doing everything in the pursuit of, like, selling a ticket.
Right.
You're gonna, like, whatever you're selling is what you are, right? Whatever you're putting out online, the thing that you're selling is, this is something I was thinking about like last night, where like, if I'm actually thinking about who the best stand-ups are as performers, it's not the people who I think are the best joke writers, right?
Yeah.
Like, for me, that's like John Mulaney is like the best joke writer, but then like, I don't know, Bobby Kelly, Ron Funches, those are like my favorite just performers. They have so much charisma. I mean, I've seen Ron Funches live, it's insane.
Yeah.
And but he's not the best joke writer, but the reason why John Mulaney is, selling out Wrigley Field right now is because he's able to put that out online. That's something you can put online and sell tickets, and it's meaningful, and you're selling something that you actually are, and selling something that's important to you, right? And the fact is that for the Bob Kellys, the Ron Funches, these people they're club comics, and they're gonna and they're gonna do theater sometimes. They're gonna put up specials. Those are gonna be decent specials with good jokes. But the real magic that they have to offer is in a club, and it is in interacting with the audience, and it is in building a rapport, and it's in the performance. That's never gonna sell at a theater. But both of them have their niche, and both of them are putting out something real, and they're getting something real in return.
Yeah.
And if you put out bullshit, you're gonna get bullshit back.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter how many tickets bullshit is equivalent to. Bullshit is bullshit. You can have a Ford Taurus full of bullshit, and it's still full of bullshit.
Right. So I can tell you're passionate about this. I love it.
Thanks.
Are you thinking about these ideas when you're performing? I would think not, or when you're writing.
I mean, the careerism stuff is something I write about all the time, and it's not relegated to comedy. I mean, it's something I've written about in the blog. It's something I'm gonna keep writing about. It's something I think about a lot because I'm a college dropout, and so I think a lot about careerism, credentialism.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the plurality of Americans are college dropouts, not graduates, not people who never attended. The largest chunk of Americans, they went to college, hated it, and stopped.
That's a stat?
Yeah.
Cool.
And they throw money into thing.
Bill Gates,
Yeah.
famously.
Yeah, and for a lot of them, it ends up, not for a lot, some of them it ends up heroically, where they're like, oh, this was stupid, they go off and do something amazing. But for most of them, they don't. For most of them, it was a complete waste of time. And we build intellect and pursuit and craftsmanship into something that gets you another position, into something that is only worth the net revenue and only worth the attention it brings you.
Yeah.
And it's gross and it's icky.
So So you say you write about that a little for some of your essays or something.
Yeah, and I write about it in like the scripts and
But
in the
when you're writing stand-up,
yeah.
you're not, whether you're writing about that topic, does the
Does it
idea
inform
like
it?
does yeah, and what inside of you kind of does that feel like the right approach to stand-up?
Does which feel like the right approach to stand-up?
To are you thinking about your stand-up career and like how you're representing yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think of, like, I'm not super interested in stand-up career. If it happens, that would
Right.
be, like, cool. I would, like, be into it, but it's not something I'm really all that interested in pursuing. But as far as, I think about how I present I mean, every time you make anything, like the reason or one of the big reasons any creative pursuit matters to me is because we can build something that outlasts you and something that goes beyond your ability to connect in an immediate way in a social setting or in the context of the society you exist in. And often that feels more real to me as a representation of myself than like me making small talk with a CVS clerk so that they check me out quicker, right? And so yeah, I'm always thinking about how I come off. I'm always thinking about how I feel represented. But I don't think the best parts of myself are ever going to come through in stand up. Not that say like the worst are. Some of the worst might,
Yeah.
but like it's not my like central interest. I don't think it's something I'm great at. I'm much better at like writing out my thoughts than I am at speaking them.
Okay.
And I also like again like I think like the best stand-up like John Mulaney and my other Patton Oswalt, those I think are like the best comedy writers. But when it comes to what stand-up is at its core, it is the Ron Funches thing. It is the Bobby Kelly thing. It is getting in front of a stage and exciting people and giving them an experience. And it's not just something I'm not intensely interested in. Even if I was, it's not something I have in me. I don't have excitement.
Right.
I am a dry, cynical little Jew. So I don't have like this, I don't have like the charisma and joy. Like it is joyous. Like you look at even the people who, like Bobby Kelly doesn't seem like he's an especially like exuberant person off stage, but when he's on stage, you could see this pure excitement to be there. And that's not, my instinct is to sit down and wrap my arms and have a mic. And that has a thing like that's Mark Maron.
Sure.
And I think it's funny and I really like it, but it's not it's not like the core of it. It's not the thing that it's meant to be. It's not stand up in its platonic state.
Right.
And that's not something I think I possess.
Yeah. And you might have to.
I mean, a lot of people do it and they don't have to. And I think like some of the people who are the best at it, or it's even some of the like Mark Maron is, I think, like a huge influence in alt comedy, and I think he's a great stand-up. I also don't. Well, I think if you look at his more recent specials, I think he has it more now than when he was like divorced and sad.
Right.
But if you look at his like really early specials, he was like hunched over and he had his notebook on his lap, and like that isn't that's why it's the alternative, right? That's why he's one of like the fathers of alt comedy, is because it was so different than what the thing was, but there's a reason why that's what it was.
Yeah.
And that's why people think of Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock when they're thinking of that, because there's so much energy.
Of course.
And so it's not that you need it to make it, it's that but I feel gross not having it. Not to say that if you don't have it and you want to make it as a stand-up purely, I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that it's, in fact, again, plenty of people are amazing and can do that. Yeah. But I'd feel gross. I have the writing thing. I have the thing in me that, even when I'm performing with like a banjo or a guitar, I still feel it because that's sad and small and cynical. But the stand-up thing isn't, and I don't have that. And that's fine. I have there's so many things I don't have.
Right. Sure, of course. So I want to ask a little bit about the LA scene specifically, kind of from what you've seen. And so how often are you going up these days?
Like once a week, basically.
Okay.
Like, I mean, not like I'm once or twice.
Yeah. Have you experienced any sort of like gatekeeping where you either want to do a certain kind of material or wanted to perform in a certain kind of room or something like that, and kind of Like, is there more of a supportive kind of sense for you in the community, or more competitive? What's your sense there?
I think it depends on the room. I think it depends on the place.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Elysian, is because it doesn't feel intensely competitive, and it doesn't feel. But like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a competitive room. Like when I was doing it back in Arizona, it was very competitive.
Yeah.
It is a part of why I stopped ultimately.
Right.
Was because like I mostly realized I was going there to have friends, and they were mean. Like, it was just kind of a mean place to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think that. I don't know. Like, with some of the rooms I've experienced, do I feel like gate kept? I don't know. I don't actually think there's really anything wrong with someone asking me to not say certain things. No one. I'm not entitled to anyone's attention. I'm not entitled to anyone's for everyone to listen to everything I have to say. I think there's a lot of entitlement with that line of thought.
Yeah.
I might not want to do a show that won't let me say certain things, but that doesn't mean that they should let me.
Right.
They're allowed to not want me up there. Like, I imagine if I played for like an audience of evangelical Christians, they wouldn't like it very much. But they're entitled to have someone who they want to listen to.
Right.
They're entitled to have a show that they like, you know?
Absolutely.
Do I feel gate kept? I mean, I feel a lot of them. It's you show up and there's 300 people and 10 slots that they've already picked 6 of them before they put out the sign-up sheet.
Yeah.
But that's like, even that is that immoral? Is that like an immoral thing of them to do at like a big club that has like a reputation to uphold? You can argue that it's not like conducive to the continuance of stand-up as an art form.
Right.
But there's going to keep being people who want to do stand-up. And
there's going to be another coffee shop that's willing to put on a...
yeah, exactly.
mic, yeah.
Like, that's how the alt scene started, it was a bunch of who they just couldn't get sets. So then they just started playing at Chinese restaurants and at laundromats and stuff. And
I love it.
yeah,
So goofy.
You can do whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's cool about it, is that all you need is a mic and a speaker and somewhere that won't call the cops on you.
Yeah.
So I don't feel gate kept in this. I mean, also it's all framed around that it's not something I'm interested in its own right. You know, it's something I'm interested in a scene. I'm interested in the people. I'm not intensely interested in the actual. I'm interested in the art as an audience member. I'm not as interested as a performer. So I don't really care so much when someone tells me that I'm not allowed to do it.
Right. Have you had a moment? Oh, one more joke. We're getting the light. Or one more question, rather. Was there a moment where you found that you met someone or had an experience that you were kind of like, oh, yeah, I fit. This is the right place for me?
Not in LA yet. It was my experience back in Arizona when I was first starting, where it's just like a bunch of 18-year-olds who are awkward and can't get girls, and they all like Bill Burr, and so then they all talk about Bill Burr with each other.
Gotcha.
It's not something but again, I haven't been doing it super seriously, so it's not something I'm gonna like hold against LA.
Gotcha.
It's also harder when everyone's trying to make it into a career.
Right. You get a lot of that here. All right, well, we are getting the light, and that means that's the end of the show. I'm actually going to respect the light this time. I want to thank our guest, Manny Rosen, for stepping up to the mic. I want to thank everyone out there who's still chasing their stage time. I have been Isaac, and we're going to see you next week with more stories from the scene.